I think this is the first real internet movie. It's the first movie that is, in a way, a metaphor for what the internet is like experientially, what it's like to be on the internet, to be on YouTube, to be on Facebook, that you're connected all the time to all these different parts of the world, that you can see what's going on in different parts of the world. So I think, damn social network, this is the real internet movie.
Do you think that this film as well is given you, because it's so groundbreaking, has stimulated you as a director?
It totally has. I'm used to making more conventional kind of feature films or, other kinds of documentaries that are, again, more conventional. But this is a movie where, first of all, everybody who took part in it did it outside of the generosity of their hearts. And I think there's no monetary gain for any of these people, and that shows in the film. There's a sort of generosity, a sweetness about a lot of the material. That's kind of like the very best bits of people's home movies. When you see something really lovely in somebody's home movie, imagine all those very, very best bits. That's what this movie is entirely made up of. But also because of technology, because of the availability of cheap cameras and the internet and abilities to upload things, you can, for the first time ever in the last few years, reflect what it's like to live on Earth in a single moment, and that's an extraordinary thing. So it's a movie that is so much of the moment. So much could only be made now. It
couldn't have been made 10 years ago, could it?
It really couldn't have been made 10 years ago. Before everyone had great quality cameras on their phones, before you could go into Jessops as we did and say, I got 40 grand, how many HD cameras can I get? And we got 400 of them, That's kind of amazing. And then we sent those out around the world to the developing countries who, didn't have their own cameras, didn't have internet access, that kind of thing.
And was there any particular framework that you had for the film? I mean, were there any sort of stipulations that you gave the public before they submitted their videos?
Well, all I said to them was that they could film it on anything they liked, but if it was better quality, it had more chance of getting in. And I said to them that I wanted it to be honest. The most important thing is that whatever you film on that day should be about your life, or about the life that you see around you, and something that actually is of importance to you in some way. And then I asked them to answer 3 questions. What do you love? What do you fear? And what do you have in your pockets? And so out of those 3 questions, we sort of extracted the themes of the movie.
I mean, a good film is always about the story, so what is at the heart of this story for you?
The heart of the story, I suppose, is a day on Earth, and how through that day on Earth you see all the experiences that you and me are going to go through in our lives. So there's there's children being born, there's people dying, there's destruction and chaos and politics, there's exuberance and lovely times and falling in love, having children, and there's dying. I mean, those are the things that make up life, and you see all of that in there. So it's not the story just of one day, but it's the story of life.
And just as well to say that the post-production must have been absolutely mammoth for this. You must have had a lot of trust in your editor, Joe.
I did, and he was Herculean, in getting this film done. 4,500 hours of material he had to edit down. And we also had a whole team of people working with us, 25 assistants who spoke myriad different languages, of course, because all the stuff came in different languages. And they did an incredible job of, cutting it down to the essentials. About 350 hours I watched with Joe. So they'd already watched, 4,200 more than that or something. So hats off to them. They watched all the teenagers dancing in their bedrooms.
Kevin, thank you. What a way to finish. Thank you very much. Cheers.